Alright, here's our first quick tip for today. So, for example, this is your light attack. And when you hold down left click, you do your power attack. But you don't actually have to hold it down the whole way. You can just hold it for a little bit, and then you can actually have a quicker power attack. So when you're trying to time it, you can hold it back and then come in. But sometimes you just want it to go as fast as possible, so you just have to hold it for a little bit, and it will do your power attack. Alright, so first we're going to start off with the weapons this time. So, my preferred melee weapon here is the Trollhamer. First of all, it looks cool, and it has random gears for no reason. But, I think it has the strongest moveset in the entire game. It's my favorite weapon. So, first off, it has a deceptively long range. It might just be because he's a dwarf, but you're in range of this person right here. And it also has really wide arcs. So if we're closer to these dummies, we can hit all of them. So it basically hits everything on your screen. So to me that makes it very powerful. And you can also combo it with the moving your screen as you're swinging to just hit everything around you. One quick thing I forgot to mention with the Trollhamer is its power attack does a bunch of damage. So 105 body shot, or yeah, 51 body shot, and 108 headshot on these unarmed. But on armored, it even does that amount of damage. So this does a lot of damage. And if we swap to the pickaxe, or the war pick, which has a heavy charge attack. Hey look, it does less than the Trollhamer. So, not only does it have giant crowd control, it also has the highest single target damage in the game. So, that's why I use the Trollhamer. Another ranged weapon I like is the Torpedo. Let me show you in here. The Trollhamer Torpedo. Unfortunately, these are both DLC weapons. This comes with the Engineer, and this is part of the Forgotten Relics pack, I think. So, unfortunately, you have to buy his best weapons, but the reason I like the Torpedo is if you're ever dealing with anything tough, you just shoot it with the Torpedo and they die. So, Patrol of Chaos Warriors. Alright, you just killed 4 of them. Alright, now you reload. Alright, you killed the entire patrol. Or, say there's a boss, you shoot the boss and it staggers them and does a decent amount of damage. So this is like having 7 bombs at your disposal to do whatever you want with. Except it has a longer range and you can control it better. The only unfortunate part is the reload time. But, so if we just shoot normally, you can see that we aren't reloading for a while. But if we shoot and spam R, we can immediately start reloading. So that will cut down the reload time, but it is still going to be a very painful reload time. So you have to strategically decide when to reload your Torpedo. And for that necklace, I have Stamina and Health, and then Boon of Shalia. For the Charm, I have Barbarous Gas and Attack Speed. You can do whatever trait you want. And then on here I have Movement Speed and Crit Chance. I don't go for Curse Resistance, just because you don't really ever take damage. And he already has a big health pool, so if you're double cursed you have around 80 health, which is a really decent amount for having 2 Grimoires. Alright, so let's talk about his base kit real quick. So his first thing here is Gromme Armor, so he completely absorbs a hit every 20 seconds. This is very nice, but it also procs against Rattling Gunners, Warp Fire Throwers, and your teammates shooting you. So it can end up, if you can't rely on it too much, because if you have teammates that will occasionally hit you, you lose your Gromme Armor. So don't rely on it always being there. It's just more of a, in case you actually do get hit, this saves you, or stops you from being hit. It saves you when you have Grommel Curse here. but we'll get into that in a second. Then the rest of his traits here just prevent him from taking that much damage. So reduce damage taken, you get an extra stamina shield, so that's more blocking or an extra shove. And then resilient is decreases the amount of time you're stunned whenever you get hit, which stacks well with Gromme Armor. And then your ult, or your career skill, you taunt all nearby enemies, so this is everything except bosses. You gain increased defense and can block any attack for the next 10 seconds. You do have to be actually blocking, it doesn't automatically block for you, but you don't lose any shields and don't take any damage when you're blocking. So you can block Chaos Warriors, bosses, Berserkers, all at the same time, and you'll be fine. So let's move on to the talents. First one, you want Rockbreaker, so that's the staggering enemies, gives you temporary health, which is amazingly good with the Coghammer, because every single one of these enemies gets staggered. So if you're fighting a horde, you swing once and you have max temporary health. It's kind of insane. Next I do Blood of Grimnir. If you're using the Drake pistols or the Drake fire gun, you can use under pressure. This doesn't really help much, but it's better than this one. For this one I use Smiter. You can also go with enhanced power, it doesn't really matter. Then Gromme Curse is extremely nice. It's a tough decide between Tunnel Fighter and Gromme Curse, but with Gromme Curse, if you get grabbed by a hook rat or pounced on by an assassin or something like that, you can knock them off of you when you take the damage, as long as you have your Gromme Armor up. So that makes it very nice for second chances, and he's the only character in the game that can save himself. Next we have Rolling Mountain. On paper to me this didn't sound good at first, but this even works when you're fighting a horde. So with these giant sweeps, and like on higher difficulties you're swarmed with enemies. Every time you kill something in this giant cleave of yours, you're getting 2% off your cooldown. So killing 10 guys, that's 20% of your cooldown. And this is a 2-minute cooldown on the Q. So being able to charge that up incredibly fast is actually really nice. Alright, lastly we go with Impenetrable, increases the power of nearby allies. You can also get Booming Taunt. Either one is good. I just like this one because I normally use my taunt if my allies need help. So this also gives them extra damage to fight whatever's there. You can also use it when you're fighting a boss, and that extra 20% damage will be helpful. I would not recommend the Forces monsters to attack you, because if you're fighting a monster along with a horde, you want to be able to split them up. So with your ult, you can get the minions on you while your team focuses on the monster. So this one would let you buff your team to be able to deal more damage to the monster, and then also draw the minions off of you. Whereas this one would make sure you can get all of the minions, and you can hold them for a little bit longer, but if you grab them and pull them away, then they'd still be focused on you and not your team. So either one is good. It depends on, it really depends on you, what you prefer. So yeah. He is very good at not dying. And he's also really good if you're the last person left. So I have that footage going on in the background. Because if you mess up your timing on one of the dodges when you're trying to dodge a hook rat or bash an assassin away or dodge a life leech, any of the situations, if you mess up, you're fine as long as you have your Gromme Armor up. So yeah, I'm going to let this footage finish up, and thanks for watching.